it with the vision right. Skills to empower futures light. In Kenya schools we're on the rise. Our dream takes flight to new heights. Oh, we're climbing step by step, building future strong and set. CBT, changing lives anew. In CBT, watch us break through.
Yet another moment for Flockel Show to welcome the trainees in Simbet who are being trained for ICT Technician Level 5. We proceed with our part 3 of the tools which are used to design a program. The last time we looked at the pseudocode and flowcharts, and for today we are going to look at what we are calling decision trees and decision tables. So if you look at this, we have to first of all start by defining what a decision tree is. Structure and components. We would say that a decision tree is essentially a flowchart-like structure that is used to make decisions by breaking down different possible choices into branches based on conditions. The key terms which we are going to use here is root node. This is the starting point of the decision-making process. The root node represents first decision or question to be asked. Then we move on to the next term, decision nodes. And these nodes represent a decision point. Each decision node splits into branches based on conditions or possible choices. It can be thought of as asking a yes or no question, which leads to further decisions. Then the other term we need to define is leaf nodes. And these are the terminal nodes that represent outcomes or final decisions. They are the end of the tree and they show the result after going through all conditions. Then the other terminology is branches, and these represent the outcomes of a decision or question. This point to the next possible action or decision to make. What are the key characteristics of decision trees? One of the characteristics is that decision trees can be binary. Each node has 2 branches, or multi-way. Each node has more than 2 branches. Then the other characteristics is that it can be recursive, or what we have recursive partitioning. The process of creating a decision tree involves splitting data or conditions at each node recursively until a stopping criterion is met, e.g., a predefined depth or purity of nodes. What are the advantages of decision trees? One of the advantages is that it's easy to interpret. Decision trees are very intuitive as they mimic human decision making, making them easy to understand for non-experts. Advantage number 2 is both numerical and categorical data can be represented with both numerical, e.g. age, income, and categorical, e.g. yes, no type of product data types. The other advantage is that we have non-linear relationships. Unlike linear models, decision trees can capture non-linear relationships between variables. Disadvantages: we have overfitting. Decision trees can become overly complex, capturing noise in the data. The other one is instability. Small changes in the data can lead to significantly different trees. Disadvantage number 3 is that it's not ideal for all data types. For very high dimensional data types, e.g. images or text, decision trees may not be the best choice compared to other models like neural networks. We now look at examples of the decision tree. Let's say you want to decide if you should invest in a new project based on some conditions. So the first question is, and that makes what you are calling the root node, is the market growing? If the answer is yes, go to the next decision. Is the competitor's product better? If yes, don't invest. And if no, invest. Then finally, you'll realize that we have no, don't invest. In other words, if you went straight away and asked the first question, whereby the answer was no, then simply don't invest. But where there was yes, you had to look at other conditions in between before you arrive at no. This is a basic example of how decision tree structure the flow of decisions based on various criteria. Example number 2, the problem can be, I take an umbrella when I leave the house. And the main decision which will make me do this is it cloudy? If the answer is yes, check weather forecast. And then after checking weather forecast, then the next thing is, rain forecasted, take an umbrella. If no rain, no umbrella. If I just checked first and the answer was no, then I would just simply say, don't take an umbrella. Then we quickly can look at the other option, which is decision tables. We start by structuring components, and a decision table is a tabular way to represent complex decision logic. It helps in handling multiple conditions and determining the corresponding action based on those conditions. And let us look at the conditions. These are input variables. These are the factors that impact the decision, typically representing the criteria that need to be checked. Then we have the actions, which are the output variables. These are the possible outcomes or decisions that result from combinations of conditions. And then we have the rules. Each combination of conditions leads to a specific action. These rules are captured in the table, showing all possible scenarios and corresponding actions to take. What are the key characteristics of decision tables? The first one is that we have columns. The columns represent the conditions and the corresponding actions. Then we have the rows. Each row represents a unique combination of conditions, and each combination maps to a specific action or decision. What are the advantages of decision tables? One, there is clarity. Decision tables provide a clear and structured way to see how different conditions result in different actions. The other advantage is efficiency. They are compact way to manage complex decision making with multiple conditions. Then the other advantage is error reduction. Decision tables help avoid errors that may occur when writing out complicated conditional logic in one's old code. However, we have a few disadvantages of decision tables. Disadvantage number 1 is scalability. As the number of conditions increases, the table can grow exponentially, a problem known as the combinatorial explosion, making it difficult to manage. Disadvantage number 2 is complexity. For every complex decisions with many possible conditions, the decision table can become hard to read or maintain. Then, let alone, we would encourage that trainers will expose their students to different types of decision trees and tables. We shall also have students being engaged in drawing some, and before we conclude, we shall just demonstrate some of the decision trees and tables that we have. So we said that students can use various methods either to draw on paper, or they can draw using some softwares in a computer lab. They can we have this, and remotely there are also softwares which you can also draw that. So students are meant to develop or to determine this, and the decision is based on a job application. What are the conditions? The first major condition, which becomes the root node, is the salary. Then others which may follow, for example, office, distance, and then possibility to work remotely. So this becomes the root node. And then this one becomes the leaf node. And then, of course, also this one is a leaf node. And of course, the questions which are being asked, what is the salary? The student prefers getting a salary between 60,000 and 100,000. If it is not the case, you just decline the offer. An office, the students will prefer an office which is close to home. If it is not, you decline. If it is so, you proceed to the next condition, possibility to work remotely. Are they allowing you to work remotely? If no, you decline the offer. And finally, if yes, you accept the offer. Thank you so much for viewing Frokil's show. We shall keep our students more engaged and apply the SIMBET principles in delivering our training. Thank you so much.